It's nice.
It's good. Cheers.
Welcome back.
Hi. Hi.
Welcome to the Split Ship Pod.
I'm Dan,
I'm Jamie.
and we're both sick
And naked
and naked.
under this. So
Naked.
Yeah.
Got a little weird. We were really contemplating canning it this week because we actually meant to do
Because
it. We meant to do it earlier this week, as you guys will see this video next week. But right now it is a Saturday, and we were actually meant to do this early in the week, but we just kept delaying, and then we're just like, no, we got it done.
sounded like I have literal fucking tampons up my nose right now. That's what it sounds like. So I'm like, that's not going to sound very sexy for YouTube or Instagram or anything. So
No, not
let's
at all.
push it back, and then it's just not getting better. So this is our life.
We got ourselves a new flavor today. If you're ever wondering, we got this at Ampol. It's Ghost Bubblicious.
You want to?
You can take that. You can keep that one. I'll send it back.
Okay.
Bubblicious. Tastes good. I don't feel Bubblicious, but let's be real.
What's wrong?
Oh,
You're making it weird.
uh,
Anyway, we're going to have a game of chess
before we get started,
regardless.
let's actually start this. Actually, no.
Yeah.
Before we get started on the actual topic, which you're about to hear in a second, Jimbo, you said you didn't have any codules, didn't you?
Out of cotties.
Fair enough, man.
Yep.
Well,
No pseudoephedrines today.
no pseudoephedrines,
We're raw dogging.
but
Proper.
well, I brought something for you.
Did you? You bought something.
Brought something. I wish you were pseudoephedrines, but
It's a regular meth. You just gave me a fucking crack pipe.
it's actually just.
Here you go. This will fucking dry you up.
It's a couple caps.
Oh,
I'll go you some Lemsip.
we can dunk that in our fucking.
Dunk that in Lemsip. It's not whiskey. I was really tempted to bring a bottle of whiskey, but we did agree earlier that we're not drinking today because I think they'll actually fucking kill us.
Although they do say the whiskey in like with lemon and whiskey. Is that the thing?
Lemon and whiskey.
It's
I
meant to
think
sort
so.
you out?
Yeah. I think so. But
I'm gonna need to fucking boil the kettle.
yeah, no, let's crank that shit. Hang on,
Right.
Give me 1 second.
There we go.
Okay, as you do, you keep talking.
Do you want me to get you a? Hold the phone. I'll fucking help you.
Lemsip Max. Get the Max. I made the mistake of buying the normal Lemsip. It's actually got 500 milligrams of paracetamol, the normal one, and it doesn't have the decongestant. This one has 1,000 milligrams.
1,000 milligrams, dude. That is hectic.
I'm hoping you didn't get any you didn't take any Panadol this morning. Did you take any Panadol?
I did have Panadol just before, but that'll be okay.
That'd be fine. You could,
It'll be fine, right? This could be my last podcast, so
yeah. We might have to
we'll see how we
someone
go.
else in maybe after this.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to be the. I don't think we can. You're irreplaceable.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
We should probably talk about
let's
the topic.
let's get this ball rolling a little bit.
Welcome to the new episode. We are. What are we talking about, my friend?
Today, well, last week we spoke about the quick fixes. We spoke about what the benefits and challenges and bad things and good things about running through weight loss challenges, going through 6-week fucking super summer shred programs. And you may have finished that being like, all right, cool. That's probably not for me. But the issue is I just did one. I achieved some awesome results. I lost my 5, 10, 20 kilos. Am I fucked now? Am I going back to square one? So now we're going to talk about how to maintain those results that you have achieved for life, essentially.
Absolutely.
Or at least for a long time.
Maintaining for at least a very, very long time. Maintaining. If you listened to last week's episode, I kind of left it at a bit of a cliffhanger because it's actually a really good topic to talk about, and it's extremely undervalued how much the maintenance process is crucial for obviously long-term sustainability. No shit, right? But it's actually the way I described it last week, it's a different ball game. Different ball game to when you're focusing on getting shredded, or putting on size, whatever, like any sort of direct goal towards like a composition focus or something like that. Now to maintain that, we've got to look at our perspective a little bit differently. That kettle's about to boil.
It's about to click off.
It's about to get some packets, bro. Pump some packets. So when you're looking to maintain it, it is a bit of a different ball game because you have to change how your perspective on a few things, especially mentally, of how we view progress and how we can actually direct it to where you can see continual progress in other areas, which kind of ties into other episodes, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm
Massively.
going back. Jimbo, you want to start off with the first topic? I'll whip these up.
100%. 100%. So put yourself in these shoes. Like I just said before, you've gone through your challenge. You've done your 6 weeks. You shredded up. You lost 5, 10, 15 kilos. You got that result that you thought you wanted. Then you watched that video last week and you realized that's different. The result I wanted was to look good, but also wanted to have a lifestyle where I felt good and, was healthy and had energy, all that sort of stuff. And you realize they're different things. And you think, what do I do now? I've been here before. Ignore the fucking nasally voice, by the way. My M's and N's are really fucked up. But I've been here before. I've yo-yoed for years. I've lost weight, I've put on weight, I've lost weight, I've put on weight. Here we go.
Care package. Oh, shit.
Lame sip. Let's go. She stirred up, yeah, fuck yeah. Oh,
No, I didn't really.
might need a little fucking spoon, little baby spoon.
Continue.
Just in that little top drawer over there.
Yep.
Thanks.
Oh, shit. Okay, yep. Continue.
So I've yo-yoed my whole life, and I just dropped 10, 15 kilos. I'm feeling amazing. But now I'm worried, am I going to be able to maintain that? The short answer is, yes, you are. Obviously, it's going to be harder than if you did it right the first time. But you can maintain it if you actually do these. I like to break it down into 3 categories. First one being goals and focus points. So making sure that your goals and focus points, we'll run through that in a second. Working on your mentality and how you're looking at yourself in particular, and then working on your lifestyle. All right, you've just gone through this period where your focus, your motivation, and your adherence were fucking just paramount. You were ignoring every other issue in your life. You've gone focused hard for 6 to 10 weeks or whatever. You've got the amazing result. Now you're there, the dust has settled, and the first thing to go is going to be that motivation. The focus and the adherence we can shift into different areas, which is what we're about to talk about. Do you want to add anything to that before we rip into this shit?
No,
Cheers, bro.
it was good. Cheers, sir. Cheers.
See if this can sort us out a little bit. That's boiling fucking water. Jesus Christ. You didn't put any cold water in that shit, dude. Oh my God.
One sec.
Holy fuck. This motherfucker.
I'm not trying to kill us, man. I'm just
Dude,
saying it's hot.
oh my
Do
God.
you not see the steam? Just give it a light sip.
I thought there was going to be a little fucking... Dude, I'm sweating now. Fucking life flashed before my eyes.
Dude.
Searing hot boiling water down my fucking throat.
That's going to fucking decongest.
Fucking roll my sleeves up for this one. That's going to decongest something.
Bro, yeah, sleeves up or on.
I'm not lifting the pants up, you know that.
No. Keep that down. No, dude, I think you said it pretty well. I think there's a good base points to really work on to at least cover all bases, right? The way I like to think about for maintenance is that you're shifting your direction from like the hustle into this this focused mentality of tunnel vision almost. Now you have to kind of shift it outwards and now look into other areas. So the biggest thing is with maintenance is a level of understanding of finding realistic baselines, finding realistic directions now, because chances are if you're doing that shred, it probably wasn't as realistic. I mean, how long could you realistically sustain it for? That's why probably they do it for 6 to 10 weeks, right? So having
That's why it's so sexy.
Exactly.
It's very sexy. It's very appealing. You're like, oh, I only need to do this for a short time and I'll get exactly where I want to go.
Yeah.
Little did you know, that's not actually where you wanted to go.
No.
Physically, one component of it was, but you didn't get any of the other things that are going to be able to maintain that or change your life in general. There's no point doing something right now if you're not going to be doing it in 6 months. So continue.
No,
also, when you're ready.
Exactly. Oh shit, yeah. No, that's exactly right. So there's a lot more inner work when it comes to maintenance, more than people think, and that's what we're going to delve into right now. So knowing yourself is so important of how to maintain those results and understanding the habits, how you react in social situations, all those things, which we're going to delve to in about a second, is what's going to be part of the maintenance journey that people don't think about enough, because they're always thinking about the method, always thinking about the process, where they got to think about the things that's probably not as measurable. So we have to look into different stuff like that. How would you like to start on the first one? We said goals.
Goals and focus. First things first, once you get the result, just be aware that, I should pre-frame, once you get that physical result, once you've achieved that weight loss, if you've achieved that body fat percentage drop, you've done the thing that you weren't able to maintain, you knew you weren't going to be able to maintain it to achieve that physical result. First things first, just be aware that that is just only one component of a result. A result's a complete fucking square. Unless you were doing it for an event like a wedding or fucking, a birthday or a holiday, whatever, like we said last week, understand first that there is other components to that result and the job is not done. You've just done the physical part of it first. So first things first, we're going to move on to step number 1, which is your goals and your focus. So for that period of time, those 6 weeks, whatever, you were so fucking focused on just nailing your calories, ignore everything else, just go, go, go. You had that goal, you had that end date, and you were just steamrolling until then. So your focus was on, you were running high on motivation, and your adherence was paramount. Like there was nothing else that could stop you. First thing to go is going to be motivation. We know that's fleeting. We know in real life, motivation comes in waves. So that's going to be gone. And that's what kills most people initially.
Exactly right.
So what you need to do first is keep momentum. Keep momentum in a different direction.
Yeah.
Make sure you're still moving forward. So quickly adjust your goals. So what we work on first is creating goals, like we said in that first ever episode around goal setting, identity-based goals, setting goals around who you're becoming and around your whole lifestyle rather than just that physical result. Start shifting what you view as a result rather than it just being, I want to be shredded. Start shifting how you view a result as, I want to be healthy. I want to be fucking fit. I want to be strong, setting more performance-based goals. I want to be strong in the gym. I want to be fitter. I want to be able to run. Start setting other goals that keep you moving in that direction that still correlate and still, assist with that body fat percentage that you're trying to maintain.
And what you're saying was really well about that is that you're looking at different avenues now. Sorry, you started. Looking at different avenues of progression that's not related to just that one, that one measurable target. If it was like body weight, for example, and stuff like that. Identity is a massive one. On the flip side of that coin is that when you're recognizing things like identity, if you watch the first episode, you know exactly how to navigate this. Sure you will. And knowing also when you've achieved that awesome result is that fucking quad park.
Dude, we're quadruple parked, by the way.
Oh, and
That's
so
fucking wild.
you also have, it really juxtaposes of where you were before. So you're also looking, but yeah, dude, I might have to fucking.
I told him at the start, I'm like, you need to tell me if my nips start slipping. Because this is fucking like
we have to start like blurring shit out.
yeah.
It's dangerous. So now it's juxtaposing of where you were before, even though it was only 6 to 10 weeks ago or 12 weeks ago, whatever, but you're still able to recognize, I'm like, well, if there's an identity that you want to change within like this version that you want to be, you have to be able to, remember, go back to that CD. If you remember that, look at what your past CD was of that version of your past self around your identity, who you are, how you perceived yourself, and put it in its place. And I'm just like, well, you moved out of that for a reason, right? You got your result. That's awesome. Now, do you want to go back to that? You have to be able to be saying, well, no, obviously, like ideally you don't want to. So take that away, take that identity away, put it in its place, take that CD out, put this new CD in and start creating those building blocks around this building blocks around the new identity, that version of yourself you want to be. Performance is so good because now it starts to shift away from like, at least performance and health goals, is that shifts away from focusing on just the number. Now you look at every shred program. I've lost 10 kilos in 8 weeks, like hectic, I've done all these really cool, achieve these awesome goals related to probably a number. Yeah, you dropped a couple dress sizes, you dropped a couple pant sizes, awesome. With maintaining though, we got to understand that for us to maintain that, we have to take that power away from the number to let that dictate us that that's the only way we're going to progress. Hence why we look at performance and health. So this is the way I like to look at it as objective and then there's versus subjective progression. So objective base is like, yes, that's the numbers of like the amount of weight lifted over time, the PBs, the weight loss, the number, data, logic, right? Then you look at things that's more subjective. And this is based around our emotions, how we feel when we're training, how we, when we're feeling less stressed, after a busy week of work, all those type of really beneficial things that is probably more relatable to more long-term stuff. So we're shifting away that power away from that objective lens of just saying, I'm like, since I'm not seeing anything move on the scales or any more change in my clothing, I'm not progressing anymore. When I'm like, well, you're here to maintain now. Start to look into other areas around that identity, subjective, the performance. Of course, that's kind of related to objective in a way, but like, you know what I mean? But also health. And that's like definitely a lot more subjective, a lot more immeasurable stuff of just like how you feel, your stress management, good relationships, that type of shit.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And exactly what Danny was saying about, working through identity, all that sort of shit. That sort of brings us on to the next point, which is going to be more about your mental state. So you got your goal setting, you're shifting your goals into working on more performance based. How do I live day to day? What are my health goals? Do I want more energy? All that sort of stuff.
Jump a line. I think maybe I kind of jumped.
You sort of jump down and jump back, but that's all right. That's all good. Don't stress.
We all work together.
We all work. It all fucking flows eventually. So we've got the goal setting. So you've shifted your perspective. One more little thing that I want to say on, say, body weight. A really cool thing, if you do get to a body weight that you enjoy, it becomes less and less relevant the leaner you get. Sure. So the leaner you get, the more fluctuations you're going to get also. You have less fat to lose, that's fine. What I do like to say to avoid big blowouts where you start chipping away at that lifestyle, you start slowly, becomes like Chinese whispers, it starts getting slowly worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're back 20 kilos. It might not have been just like you fell off because you were low motivation. You went straight back to square one. But it could be like, I've skipped my lunch today. I fucking had Macca's 3 times this week. It just gets bit by bit. Before you know it, you're back at square one. You're 20 kilos up again. Set yourself an upper and a lower limit for body weight. Once I go, so this is where I'm at now. Let's say I'm at fucking 80 kilos or whatever, just a rough number. When did I start feeling good along that line when I started coming down? What sort of body fat percentage was I at, What sort of body weight was I at? Let's set an upper limit for that. Okay, cool. I know I'm going to have fluctuations. When I get down there, I know that I'm going to go up and down. It's part of fucking life. You're going to put on a few kilos, you're going to drop a few kilos. It's part of the fucking process. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Set an upper limit. Once I get to 85, that's when I'm like, okay, cool. I got to probably start fucking tracking my food again. Let's reel the fucking horse back in, Yeah. Once you have that upper limit, that ceiling, and then that floor, you can just live life in that and then focus on those other goals. Sure. Now, moving down the line from goal setting, we move down to mentality or your mental state and how you view yourself. So this is when we were talking about that identity, The biggest thing I've noticed with my personal clients and people that I speak to around, weight loss and why they yo-yo is they go through this fucking big aggressive shred. They drop 10, 20, 30, 40, sometimes 60 kilos to feel better, health, awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. That's fucking amazing. You should, because you should be a healthy body fat percentage for life. Like we said, obesity kills more people than fucking cancer. So let's fucking get on that shit. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. The issue is along that process, if they're doing it the aggressive blinders on just fucking go route, what happens is they don't deal with the identity, that little fat kid at school that is still in the back of their head being like, I'm a fatty trying to lose weight. They don't deal with that. If you can deal with that along the way, it's going to take time. So you need to be able to deal with it along the way during that weight loss.
For sure.
But the issue is, if you've already achieved that fucking result, you didn't have time. And now you're at the end. You've achieved the fucking result. You've lost all the weight. You're feeling lean. You're feeling great. But you're still that fat kid trying to lose weight. You are destined to go back there unless you deal with that fucking now. Now there's a sense of urgency for that, because if you don't, the issue is you're going to go back to square one and then you're going to feel shit about yourself. 100%. And then you're just somebody that diets and falls off. You're on or you're off. You're all or nothing. You yo-yo. I yo-yo.
And that cycle's really, cycle's really hard to break, especially once we've addressed the identity, because it's not just the identity of how you perceive yourself. It's the snowball effect of what comprises around that identity, from your habits around that identity, from your mental state around that identity, along with that, the mental state, emotional side around that stuff. All these things that comes with that identity impacts the action-based approaches, the action-based things, like around your eating, around your training, around your perception of things, all that type of stuff. That starts to break down even more, little bit by bit. So addressing that identity straight off the bat and putting it in its place is such a good point, man. The mental side is extremely underrated, and because we always look at it's always about the action-based approach. Something I always say to my clients is like, especially when it starts to chip away over time, I always like to relate it to like a full piece of paper. And think of this as you. This is a full piece of paper of that version of yourself you want to be, the habits that you want. These are all optimal around your lifestyle. All is awesome, right? It's like fucking living large. But like similar to what Jimbo's saying is that like when start to break those down, you kind of like fall through a bit of those promises. All of a sudden you start to tear a little bit by bit. A little bit slowly pulled away. Still seems insignificant because you got all this right. Hell yeah. I'm like, oh, it's not so bad. And then all of a sudden you might skip lunch, pull a little bit away. All of a sudden this happens, pull a little bit away. Then that happens over time, which seems so insignificant at the moment. Do that for a couple of years, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. All of a sudden that version of yourself, you're left with this tiny ass piece of paper of that initial version that you want it to be. And people always wonder, I'm still eating the same, but I've gained 20 kilos. Or I'm still training, but I'm not really getting anywhere. And clearly something did change, but you just something didn't realize. So going back to that identity and retaining that standard of that version that you want to be is fucking paramount. Plus, don't subscribe, but paramount.
There are literally no good movies on there. I had a look because I was going to fucking chuck it in my Optus SubHub.
I watched, but Spartacus is lit. I think it's on
Okay.
there.
All right.
That.
No, that's fucking very good, very, very good points. Like the mental state, everything, it is number one. It is number one. The reason I like to focus on, say, goals and, focus points first is because that's what's going to create that momentum. You need momentum in a certain direction. And then because that mental state, working on that identity, those belief systems that we spoke about in the, like really early on in the podcast days, we might even link it down below if you want to go watch that so you can actually learn how to work on that and how to change them in real time. We won't chat about it now because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
But that's going to take time. It's going to take time, a lot of effort to be able to work on that because you've been dealing with that for fucking decades, maybe 2, 3, 4 decades sometimes. Yeah. That's been your identity, That's always been you. So it's going to take a bit of time to be able to fucking rewire that so you can actually maintain that result.
So true.
So goal setting first, like fucking make sure you got that momentum going. And while you're doing that, be aware that as long as you have that identity of I'm the fucking fat kid trying to lose weight, you will always end up back at square one unless you deal with that. This is part one. So we just ran through goal setting, focus points, how to keep the momentum going so you can actually maintain the results, and how to work on your mental state. We're going to chat a little bit more about this next episode, as well as creating a lifestyle and habits that help you maintain the results also. This is the bread and butter when it comes to actually maintaining a result, like physically. This is like the fucking, this is the physical stuff, the tangible stuff. This is your lifestyle and your habits.
Yep, absolutely. So these are the bigger questions that we're looking to address. Now for the next episode, of following what Jimbo's saying, is that with this is the action-based things. This is the X, Y, Z's, right? The shit that you got to do that's going to retain your result because it's action-based goals, right?
Tangible stuff.
For this episode that you just watched, this is the bigger questions. If you're wondering of just like, how do I retain this by the shit that you got to do, that will come later. You have to focus. Ideally, we recommend that you focus on this first. Answer the bigger questions. We'll see you back for part 2.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Let's go.